UPCEO, UPCEO, Unemployed Pinoy CEO, Unemployed Pinoy CEO. What's your story? What's your humble beginning? How did it happen? Come on and share it with the world. Be an inspiration throughout every nation. Tell me your story. Let's show the world we can. Let's go, go, go. UPCEO, UPCEO, Unemployed Pinoy CEO, Unemployed Pinoy CEO.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the latest edition of Unemployed Pinoy CEO. I'm your host, Francis San Diego. Today's episode, I have a very, very special guest with me. He's a dear friend of ours with the whole family. And his business plays a vital role in one of the aeronautics or aerospace world. Allow me to introduce to you Mr. Jim Scott.
Thanks. Thanks for having me on, Francis. This is fun.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I really appreciate you taking the time and coming over here. And I wanted to say that I'm really excited about introducing you to the audience right now.
Oh, good. I'm glad you called me up. You know, the name of your show is Unemployed Pinoy CEO, right? Well, so I've been self-unemployed since I'm 18. I'm 64 now and CEO, right?
Yes. So yeah, there we go, Sir Jim. So okay, we'll go cut to the chase and let's go get started. So maybe you can start with telling us about your story where you started, about your journey in your business.
On my business, so I have several businesses, but the big one is the family business, Seco Seals, and we make the gaskets that go on all the rockets on the nozzles. My father started with the space program, designing some stuff in the late 1950s for the Atlas rockets. And then because they had leaking fuel tanks on these rockets, so invented a part that stopped the leaks so the rocket would fly. And then over the next 10 years, they put it on all the Gemini and Apollo and all the space flights during the 60s, and then built up the company, which was later became Alcoa, to this big thing. And as fate would have it, you build up a company, then big company, what happened? They fire you.
Yes, definitely.
Right? And he said, and after having worked in 10 jobs before, my father said, I'm never going to work for anybody else again. I'm going to be self-unemployed.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Like for all the viewers out there or audience right now, Mr. Jim is a very good friend of ours, from my parents up to my brothers and my sisters, my wife, or whatever. So anyway, yeah, they really showed us how to be engaged in the business world, right? So you started with the garage, right?
Well, yeah, I started in the garage, and I was conscripted, like most family businesses. I'm conscripted child labor to pack parts and go through the whole cycle, because it was just going from a factory down to just one in family members. So we're around the table, packing parts and putting things in boxes and shipping things and taking things to the post office.
Yeah.
And so that went along, and it went really, really slow.
Oh,
it was really, you have to be very persistent in terms. It took like almost 8 years really it made a little money, enough to pay the bills before it break through. 8 to 10 years, a lot of time. And so, and then I was in college in 1974, and I had my first and only job. I worked at a place called Thrifty Mart, pushing carts 8 hours a day for 20 hours a week going to college. It was terrible. And then I says, I am not going to do this. So I had a band, and I was making 3 times as much making music than I was working at my job, right? So I was I said, I'm going to be self-employed. And every time since then, I've been doing that. So we did the family biz, but I also got a degree in economics, and understand that, and got a real estate license. And I've been real estate licensed for because I needed a backup. You know, so I had the music, because you need multiple streams of income, right? You need things because things change, and when you do real estate, you have to. It could be 6 months between paychecks or forever. So you do have that, and then so I had the music because people always need dances and weddings and this kind of thing. So I did the music and developed some property and built it up in the 80s. And built it up, and then it collapsed, and built it up and collapsed. And so meanwhile, the family business is coming along, and then 1990, I stepped in and we made, you know, it's still coming along, and I took it over from my father and worked full time at that with, well, still doing the music, still doing the real estate. And then I got another stream of income because I didn't understand taxes, you know, because the government is your silent partner.
Yeah.
Not so silent around April 15th, but so I wanted to understand it. I took a test and became an enrolled agent for the U.S. Treasury to become tax returns, so I could understand and do my own taxes, or at least know where half of my money was going.
You're smart enough to know what's going on with your money, right?
Right, and so, but you know, so and then you know we got better. You know, because I was telling you, you know, you have to be. There are three things, you know, quality, service, and price are the things you really have to out hustle and be persistent, keep selling, keep getting better and better. And so we picked up QuickBooks and learned how to do accounting, which I didn't really know how that stuff. So, so you just keep asking questions and keep track of what you're doing and have some goals, but still have time for life. You know, we did the sports and we did the music and, you know, you've got the family thing going on. You got to travel because you're only young once.
Yes, definitely.
You can't wait till you're 97 and then decide you're going to go to Hawaii.
Oh, there's no possibility, right? So Sir Jim, you mentioned about like, you know, when you were like starting it off. Can you please share what you, as a younger gentleman, right?
Yes.
What did you learn during those times that, like you mentioned earlier, that it's a long process? So what did you learn as a young guy or a young male that, oh, this is really hard, and maybe you can share?
Well, you know, it's not the stuff that they teach in MBA school. It's not that. It's all about people, right? And then your name is your brand. It's you don't make a sale. People like you. And they refer you to other people. It's the referrals.
Yes.
If they like what you do and they like, you know, they see how you perform with the little things, you know, it's a very biblical kind of deal. How you doing little things, you doing big things. They want to see what your character is, you know, how you do the things around you. And then when you really do it, you know, you prosper. And, you know, that you don't let the setbacks are just speed bumps. They're not brick walls. Too many people they give up.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And they don't have that doesn't mean you have to bang your head against the wall, but you're going to keep going.
Yes.
You know, and you work around it. You go around it, over it. You back up. You call 100 people. You know, if you call 10 people, I'll call 50 people.
Oh,
right?
yes.
And so you make the unimaginable, the things, and you have to keep inventing. And it's because I kept reinventing the company. You know, we have the standard product which goes on these things, but I had to think of, but this product you sell somebody one. They don't need it again for 30 years.
Oh.
It never fails and never wears out.
Because of the quality,
it's
right?
a bad corporate product. You fix it and you're done. It's like building curbs or putting in fillings that never fail.
Yeah.
So big companies are built on failure and obsolescence. And mine was built on quality and 100% performance because you can't make a service call on a satellite.
Yes.
So I get that guy, which is pride points. You know, so my stuff has gone to the moon, it's gone to Mars.
Yes.
You design things that go, you know, that are way in the future, and they're on drawing boards, and I won't get to see how it's finished.
Yeah.
But I know
you have a part. Yeah.
I have a part. I had a design. I made it better. You know, and then because you do that, other people, you know, your reputations, and then other people tell people, and
referrals. Yeah.
It's referrals, and they go, oh, I knew this guy, and he did this thing. And that's, you know, he's the guy who does that. So I call myself a space plumber. I'm a plumber.
Oh, okay. But in space.
I'm a space plumber, right? Yeah. You know, I'm just a guy, you know, and I surround myself. The other thing is you surround yourself with really, really smart people.
Yes.
Smarter than me, right?
Yes.
A lot of people go, I don't want anybody smarter than me.
Yeah,
no. I want to be the dumbest guy in the room.
Yeah. Then you learn from them as well, right?
Well, they watch your back, keep you at it. They protect you from yourself.
Yes, yes.
Right.
That's nice. Nice to hear that, Sir
Yeah.
Jim. Yes. Then you mentioned about then maybe you can share to the viewers, to our viewers out there, which companies have you had so far that are like, at least they can get to know what business you're in.
Well, Seco Seals, we specialize, and we probably have 80% of the market of making metal gaskets for high pressure items that go on oil platforms, on standard oil platforms and submarines and Caterpillar tractors. And now that it's really an exciting Wild West time with the hydrogen and the new green movements in terms of clean, because we've been sealing all these cryogenic and gases for a long, long time.
Yes.
And so the technology is evolving from what used to be average industrial. That's not enough anymore because EPA comes in and says you can't have any more leaks and methane, right? It's bad for the environment.
Right, for the
So we've been sealing stuff for a long time.
Yeah.
And, your standard stuff maybe doesn't work, but with this, you're going to get zero leaks.
Yes.
And so we're getting from all over the world things that seal up these hydrogen, and we get to be involved in the new technologies. And, it's evolving and it's going fast. We're going to see hydrogen cars running around here.
Yes.
Next
I
5
think 2005, right? They're going to start requiring like all electric cars right now.
Well, yeah, they have these things called hydrogen fuel cells, and it came out in the Apollo, and it was a space thing. It's 50 years old. Should have been here a lot sooner. Basically, you take hydrogen and put in a catalytic converter.
Converters, yeah.
Yeah, and you take the byproducts of water and electricity. It's very efficient and no smog.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah, that's really nice. I mean, yeah, just to let you know, guys, one of the major clients that they have is, just a little guy named Elon Musk, SpaceX, and also they've been doing it in NASA as well. Correct, Sergio?
Well, we've been working in the NASA labs for a long, long time. My, the family started that, and you pick up but since we're a part of an assembly, then to allow, so one of the keys to success is you take a dollar item. These aren't expensive, but maybe the hardware is hundreds and thousands of dollars. So we allow you to take apart a rocket, put all the pieces back together, put in new gaskets, and they reuse. They can reuse a rocket. These rockets that come up are only 3% of the rocket is the fuel cost. The rest of it used to go in the ocean. Somebody make a lot of money, right?
Yes.
Now they land themselves and we get to reuse it.
Yeah, reusable, right? Reusable rocket.
It's amazing. It's it's Star Wars stuff.
Yeah.
You saw it was unimaginable 20 years ago.
Yes. Now it happens, right?
It's happening, but it happens because there's a lot of people that want to make it happen. It takes a lot of young guys with a lot of persistence and working 100-hour to 200-hour weeks.
That's nice.
And so we're just that one little piece.
Yes.
We try to do that one little piece, and I have people that work for me for a long time, and
yeah, because he's had Mr. Jim has his staff has been working for him for a long time because of him, how he treats his guys out there. So shout out to all the Seco family members.
Well, yeah, we have a most people have these hierarchy org charts.
Yeah,
we have a linear.
Yeah.
Everybody is the same, So
Yeah.
it's like working with your family, and you just get, you don't have to excuse me, can I take this piece of paper to this guy and this, and then you need to go to the doc. Just go.
Yes.
Come back. You're not a kid. Go. And so
nice.
a lot of my people have worked. This is their first job they're 18 now. They're in their late 30s.
Yes, and they're a really long time, which is really good, inspiring, Sergio.
Yeah, so it's good, and I don't consider myself a great manager, but it's actually because of that 4-month job, how I was treated as an employee. I said I would never, ever treat people like that.
Yes,
I
you
would
learn from it, right?
Yeah,
From
it was meant, and everything was meant for a reason, right?
Yes.
And so that's what I learned from that.
No, that's nice. Nice to hear, Sir Jim. Then, let's go shift into another question, because you mentioned about the sports. You're involved in sports.
Oh yeah.
Maybe you can mention about Mr. Big Jim's legacy that he started, and you're also continuing his legacy.
Right. So we were all we lived in the same small town in Costa Mesa for a long time. Since the 1960s, it was kind of 25,000 people. Now it's 125,000. Long time. And so we're always interested in high school sports. Rather than go. I mean, I like the Lakers.
Yes.
I like the Suns now.
Shout out to Bernard of Koval Media. He started this all. So
And so one of my father was a school teacher, and he was a freshman football coach. We had always liked the football, so we came back and we sponsored for 30 some years what we call the Bell Trophy, which was the city championship. Because a lot of the time when you're in high school, you can't win the state championship. You're just not. If you wait, you have to wait 1,000 years. Yeah. Right? It just doesn't happen. But you could pick your rival and then win that one game.
Yes.
And so we took that small town enthusiasm, and we sponsored this trophy, and we started with football.
Bell Trophy, right?
Bell Trophy, and then we for parity we did girls basketball. It was competitive, and then the boys basketball at this little town. The one team had won for 10 straight years over the other team. We had the Bell Trophy, and the next year the underdog won.
That's a good. Everybody loves the underdog, right? To win.
Yeah. So then it's been almost 30 years ago.
Yeah.
So my father decides the kids need better facilities to play these games. They work their hearts out. It's better community because coming from Texas, everybody has. They may live in small houses, but they have big community facilities for their kids. Kids are everything.
Yes.
And sports are everything. So they have these big stadiums for these, because it's not just the stadium, it's the cheerleaders and it's the band. Correct. And I was in band, right?
Yeah.
And it's a community. Everybody controlled travel for 100 miles to go see something. So he decided they needed a new stadium. So he worked on it. And so I said, well, I had some experience in land planning and environmental impact reports and this. And so we drew up some drawings, and he started campaigning for his new stadium, right?
Yes.
And he would go around like an evangelist and go around and says, we're going to build this stadium in a 50-meter Olympic pool.
Yeah.
And he didn't. And then went around the first year, and then didn't happen. So next year he goes, we're going to build this stadium and get this thing. And 10 years later, they do a bond issue. We're going to do this thing. Didn't put it in the bond issue. So 20 years later of him going around to sell his vision of the stadium, they built Jim Scott Stadium and the 50-meter pool. So what did we learn? It was crazy persistence.
Yes, 20
years. So when he started, the kids that were born had already graduated from
college.
High school. Almost they were in college, right? Yeah. So it went through a whole generation. And so, but that type of momentum and persistence, he had picked up, in believers. We're going to build this stadium. We get people to believe it. Well, we need this stadium.
Yes.
And all of a sudden, it 1 year, and it just happened. And we were able to keep Dad alive long enough to see turn the shovel and see it being built.
Yes, we were part of it. Me and my dad were there when they inaugurated Jim Scott Stadium. For all of the viewers out there, excuse me, the stadium is located in Costa Mesa, and it says there Jim Scott Stadium. It's in honor of Mr. Jim Scott, Mr. Jim's dad. Who is like really, really well known in the community in Costa Mesa. Then the team that you had for the Bell Trophy is Mesa Verde and
Costa Mesa High School Mustangs and Estancia Eagles.
Right? Estancia Eagles. There you go.
There you go. Yeah.
So they're like really involved in terms of like the sports, and the community is like really wherever you go in that community, Jim Scott is really well known. Right.
Well, it was to develop the friendly rivalries.
Yes.
Not like that you shake hands and they were your friends after the game. And we gave them a patch that said they were city champions. It was to build community interest where nobody went to the games, but now they all went to the Bell Trophy games.
Yes.
So it was a building a community of people that lived on different sides of towns and they all had something in common. They just wanted to go and have fun.
Yes.
And then we would take the winner to have ribs,
Newport rib.
Newport rib. That's right. Thank you, John Derasini, and for a long time. And so that was the deal, and we stayed after it. But concurrently, we did the pushing for the stadium. So what was it? It took a long time.
Yes.
And we didn't give up.
Yes. 20 years, Sir Jim.
20 years,
that's a long time.
Yes.
A lot of people have. I bet when he started, just talking to people, that most of his friends who's like with him are like gone, or is there somebody that stayed with him?
Oh yeah, there's a lot of people that are still around. They're younger, and then they're still in the deal. So, but part of the thing of adapting was the old football stadiums had yard tracks. So I did a usage analysis, being the engineering kind of guy. There's only like 10 football games a year, maybe 5. And I said, well, it's not worth it to have 5. So what else can we do here? Well, we got track and field. So that's when they moved from yards to meters.
Yes.
And more importantly, where everybody had this is when soccer, was starting up. So that you can use year round. There's a huge demand. So we put the soccer, it's a soccer field surrounded by a track and field track with a bunch of seats. And that way, I set up this new design. It wasn't there before. So we set it up, and then you have to have low impact lights, and you can't have too much noise, and you have to have all these kind of things, handicap access. That was kind of fun. It's kind of playing Tetris with getting all the pieces and
putting it all together.
And I wrote, like 2, environmental impact reports, because people said, what kind of noise is it going to make? But once we figured it out, they actually made several other stadiums using it as a model in other neighborhoods because we'd already, debugged it. And it's because it worked. And it had, year-round community. My goal was year-round community usage with the maximum amount of people, whether they were kids playing football or soccer, through seniors, walking the track, so everybody got to use it.
So everybody's like a lot in the community. There's a lot of people that are like really using the facility
all the time, all the time. And the pool too is used, 7 days a week. There was a 50-meter pool because they didn't, to train for Olympics, so they had to go out to Irvine, certain. So so we thought it was close to the beach. Everybody should know how to swim. Yeah. Because I learned to swim over Costa Mesa High,
Yeah.
So I didn't drown at the beach in the ocean. So, we kind of pay it forward. I'd say it's like, it's like the bridge builder. You drive over a bridge and it got there and you don't know who designed it. Somebody paid for it. And then, so you want to be that bridge builder, right? The guy who makes the stuff and you paid forward. And you don't need a bunch, it's cool, but, we push these things out but we don't do it for the glory of the thing. It's just,
correct.
It just comes out and, I'm really happy they named it after him.
Yes. I remember we were like waiting for them to reveal the name, right?
Yeah.
When was the time that they revealed the name though? Like I remember.
It was 2008.
2008. Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah. I remember that one. That the name is still covered with the blanket or something.
Well, they had a thing. They had to change the rules because you can't name a stadium after somebody who's living, a public thing. So they had to change the rules because he had the stroke. He only had limited, but we kept him alive for 5 years, one day at a time, right?
Yes.
And so, it was always imminent, but he got to see it. So
yeah, that picture, the iconic picture, guys. If you got a time. If you can check it out, I believe it's in Google, right, Sir Jim? The picture.
Yeah, if you Googled,
there's an iconic. There's a story behind that inauguration because I was there and with my dad. There was this iconic picture that I don't know who took it. There's like a photographer, right?
It was a newspaper reporter caught the fact that he was stoic, but for that one moment he winked.
He winked, and it's as if he's happy. It's like mission accomplished.
Mission accomplished. Yeah, he was a happy guy.
Yeah, he was a guy. It's really iconic. I mean, I was like there, and we saw it. All of us saw it, and we were like really happy that he gave
Yeah.
that
Right now, it was a
away.
thumbs
up. So
So I have some other toys here that. So
Yes.
I freed it up, and rather than just being a plumber,
yeah,
when just a plumber that makes some really cool stuff.
Yeah.
It gives me some time, and I took some of my machines and
Yes.
we made some other innovative products
yes,
because I'm all about innovative stuff.
innovative.
So this is called this is a ukulele.
Yes, if you can see it here, guys, he manufactured this from scratch.
Right, on our CNC machine.
CNC machine.
So I was fascinated. I wanted a guitar, that, and I guess ukuleles are hot kind of thing. And I didn't know there's 4 types of ukuleles. There's a soprano, a tenor, a standard, a concert, and a baritone. And so we standardized on the body, and we used some high-end pickups. So now you can play island music, but you can also play AC/DC, and you can shred on your
There you
ukulele. Right? And I like being the kind of the old hippie guy kind of.
Yeah.
I like the rustic wood. It's not all finished up. And we have a regular guitar and we have a bass guitar, and we're actually gonna record some music with it eventually.
Using this one, Sergio, right?
That's it. Yeah. And so we'll make a little music video. I'll give you a copy of it
There you
someday. And it's the process of starting with the wood and designing it, and
This is made of what wood?
walnut.
Walnut. Okay,
Yeah.
walnut. Guys.
Yeah. And so it's
Whoever's interested, guys, check it out. When are you gonna get this out in the?
maybe later this summer.
Later this summer. Okay,
I'll
so
let you know.
whoever's like a musician, who's playing guitar, yeah, you can check it out, and we'll put on the link on below to know more.
Well, actually, what we're looking for experienced ukulele players to
Oh.
record using
Oh.
our ukuleles. Right.
There
My
you go.
my idea would my wish list is to have 4 people who can play like a Beethoven concerto in 4-piece on 4 different
Oh, okay.
ukuleles. Right.
Oh, there you go. So you're gonna create those different ukuleles, right?
Yeah, we have. They all look the same except for the necks are longer.
Oh,
But the
okay.
fingering's the same, and they have to be arranged. But it's kind of fun. It plays like a normal ukulele, and it has electronic pickups.
Okay, guys, whoever's interested, like to play, your experience in playing a ukulele, comment below on the comment section, and we'll hook you up with Mr. Jim Scott.
Well, yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Then next one, yeah, let me go reach for it. This one is what you call the brain saver.
Right.
So
So
he also created this using wood. Here, you want to go reach for it. Oh, there we go.
all right. So we had reset here. So I had this idea that I'm not really I'll probably get
Yeah.
put off the air or something, but I'm concerned about RF energy in the universe,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Because my friend's father, who was a radio, he was a radio man in the 50s in the military, and when he was like in the early 50s, he died of brain cancer, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm sensitive to, and I thought, as we get older, we say, oh, this guy died of this and that, and so I thought I make a product, and it's called Brain Saver, and it uses a piece of copper, which is a Faraday cage, and it blocks, because I'm guilty of it too. I put my phone up here
All the time.
all the time, and
Yeah.
then I've known some people, and then what convinced me to make it, I have a friend who had stage 4 throat cancer here, right?
Yeah.
He was going to die, but his father, his wife's uncle was a experimental oncologist, and he got treated. But I said, Mikey, what do you do? He says, well, I'm a options trader, sell stocks. He says, what do you do all day? Well, I take my cell phone and
Put
I'm
it
like,
there.
and I've been typing like this for 10 years. And it was just right there.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like a
so-
radiation on the neck. Huh?
Yeah. So I think this is one of those things you'll see on late night TV, is that where 20 years ago, did you have one of those phones and this?
Yeah.
But maybe they've cleaned it up a little bit. So I made this thing and out of the wood using the same machine that makes that. And I learned a lot by making it. I learned how to make that because we
Yes.
had to learn how to use the computer programs, and it's the
Yes.
process. It's not the product; it's the process.
Uh-huh.
So one of the things we learned about working wood is 3 months later it gets brittle.
Oh, yeah. You mentioned that to me.
So it started, it had 9 failure points. This is when COVID, I was ready to roll out.
Mm-hmm.
And then it started breaking because it changed the texture of the wood.
Texture, yeah.
So that's why we're coming out with the one that's the plexiglass.
Mm-hmm.
And
To protect it as well, right?
yeah, well, it's more giving, it's more forgiving, and so it's the same concept. We're going to use the wood,
Yeah.
and then but we're going to use a plexiglass and the same designs.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not going to give up. I mean,
Yes, yeah,
the wife
persistent,
wasn't,
right?
Barbara wasn't too happy, but she's happy now.
Hi, shout out Miss Barbara.
Yeah, that's right.
We gotta get her
You-
to shout out.
Well,
the-
she's the CEO, but I'm just going to be the
Yeah.
assistant. And then my
Yeah,
last
this one.
little toy here is a product we have called Lap Saver.
Lap Saver.
And Lap Saver is the same kind of thing because my niece had a friend that had they got internal cancer, right? And she used to, I said, what is and then you say, well, what did they do different,
Mm-hmm.
right? And she would watch Netflix like every night for 3 or 4 hours with her thing on it,
Laptop.
right? So it's the same concept
Mm-hmm.
with the
Mm-hmm.
the copper,
Copper. Yeah.
and so the RF signal will not go through the copper.
Mm-hmm.
So
Really nice. So yeah, guys, if you notice, Sir Jim is a problem solver. So he always, if whatever he encounters, like he thinks about some solutions. That's why he's really successful. I admire this guy so much.
well, that's the fun that lights your fire, right?
Yes.
You could go and solve a problem that
yes,
maybe the problems aren't there, but you can work through the process. And it's
Yes.
kind of exciting because if you have a bunch of stuff working,
yes,
because it takes forever
Correct.
for good ideas to go. They don't happen overnight,
yes.
other than
There's a
Francis here
process,
who
right?
becomes an overnight millionaire. But,
No.
buying
Well, I
Doge-
wish, but no, it's not gonna happen.
well, people do, buy Dogecoin and they, and somebody did tell me in 2012 to buy Bitcoin. He said,
Yes.
Jim,
gotta
it's
buy
like
this.
$5. Take $1,000. You buy this. I go, yeah, right.
Then now it's worth 50 grand.
Oh yeah, it'd be worth millions of dollars. Right?
Yes, yes.
So, but I didn't know. I mean, I had the money, but you just don't know. And there was a lot of stuff. So you can't say, well, so I'm not going to win the lotto because I don't buy tickets. But if
Yes.
I did, I'd probably win.
Yes.
And I wouldn't
Yeah.
win. So those are the toys, and then we have some other things. So those things keep it interesting. We have some other stuff, but those are the tactile things, toys I wanted to bring over. And
Yes, this is really good. Actually, good thing that you really brought it in because definitely it's part of the show is to help business owners as well to be familiar with what's in store outside there.
well, yeah. So in I don't know if it's closing, but I'll tell you 2 things that that made me kind of break through deals. So
Yes.
I had all this stuff. I'm doing real estate. I'm doing the gaskets. I'm doing music. I got a wife.
Yeah.
We got family stuff. I'm running out. I got to sleep. I'm got
Yes.
hours in the day. So something had to go overboard, right? So
Yeah.
I sort of put in an hourly value on my time, and if it didn't make $20 an hour, it's over.
Yeah.
Unless I liked it,
Yeah.
you don't get paid for everything. Because I said I'm not going to work more than 40, 50 hours a week. That's it. I'm going to get sick. I need more time, especially with pops, right?
Yeah.
And so I raised it. And so what happens? You raise your rate, and you lose some people, but your clients get better. So you
Yes.
raise your rate again.
Okay.
And then I stopped doing the music because
Yeah.
I wasn't making enough. And so I went from $20 to $40 to $50 to $100 an hour,
Okay.
right? And so your time gets where and then maybe more. you know?
Yes.
And so my sales time now, when I really focus on something, for advising some big company on how to, it's worth a lot of money, right?
Yes. Yes.
But I only did it because I freed up my time, and I got control of my time. And you raise your, and then
Rate,
and
your-
as your wage rate gets better, like I learned in music, your clients get better because they're less whiny, right? And then
That's why. Yes, exactly.
well, no, and then they don't suck your life essence, right?
Yes,
And so
yes.
I mean, you can still have bad clients, right? But you get your value on your time, and then you feel better about yourself. And the other thing I did is called the 2% plan, and I took it from went to a DJ seminar on how to, because I was making like $500 for 2 hours, and I go, that's a lot of money, right? He was making $5,000 for 4 hours
Oh my gosh.
to make a wedding. I go, which is like $1 million, right?
Yeah.
This is 20 years ago. I'm going,
Yeah.
how do you do that? So he said the 2% solution, right? So what is that? He says, well, every week I write down I'm going to be 2% better. And I can think of something that is going to make me 2% better. And I write it down.
Every day you do that.
No, once a week. And that's your goal, right?
2%.
And you can always make yourself 2% better. You can be more organized on your time, lay out your, just find out what you're time wasting and be more effective. Go to the gym. I don't go to the gym, but I mean, what? Eat
How do
right.
you start that one? 2%. So like, let's say what for all the viewers out there, maybe they're interested because this is something new. So like when you started to do that 2%, you applied it to yourself. What did you start doing? Like if you can share the.
Well, I could say, okay, I've got 2 musical things this weekend. I would focus on one item at a time. I got to do this. I'm playing this wedding reception on Saturday. It's for 4 hours. So how can I be more efficient on my time? I said, well, I'll dear Jim, okay, write up a song list.
Yes.
Ask them what they want to hear.
Yes.
Find all my chords. Get organized. Lay everything out.
Correct.
Load the car the day before. Don't have a panic. Test your equipment. Whatever it was, and then I would check it off. I review it and go, okay, let's do it again. I have another job this weekend.
Okay.
How to be 2 better? So you make yourself 2%. Now I'm 4% better. And then after a couple months, I'm 50% better. What happened was I got way more efficient. I got better. I practiced on my, I said, I'm going to be like that guy. His voice is great. It's like Francis's, right?
And I don't know about that, but
Well, and so I said, there's guys that have more money, they're better making, they're younger, they have more than this. And it says, like I told you, I says, how am I going to compete? I said, I'm going to less is more.
Yes.
I'm going to have a 20-second audition, because that's it. It says, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the very first time, Mr. and Mrs. Francis San Diego.
There we
And I go, right?
see.
It's like the guys at Disneyland.
Yes,
the guy
yes.
says, wow, ladies and gentlemen, huddle around. You start whispering, right?
Yes.
So I worked on voice control and metering, and I'd watch the guys on TV. And so I write it, but back to your point, I write it down. It says, you're going to work on your voice. And I would listen to voices and how they did their voices and how they controlled it. And then I'd watch myself projecting out.
Oh, okay.
And see what my
start
response.
doing that. Yeah.
Right. And so there was a feedback. And then because you can control the way people listen to you on your delivery. It's like the TV preachers are the best.
Yeah.
They talk, and it says, Francis, if you want to be successful, let me get you on the secret. Right. And so
That's really good. I know I heard that from you already, but yeah, it's amazing.
well, but see, you have to do it on the 2% because
Yes.
you can't, because people get frustrated. They want it all now.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, have to break it down.
Yes.
And you break down a lot of different areas. So then I go, okay, I'm not going to just do one thing. I'm going to work on 10 things.
Yes, yes.
And sometimes you don't make your 2%. You fail. Then you go back and you go, okay, now I got to catch up. So you're constantly getting better on all these things.
Yeah,
And then it
that's
goes,
great.
and that practice works in all areas of your life,
Yes.
right? And you do, doing good stuff.
Repetition and everything, right?
Well, it just becomes a mental habit, and then you don't have to worry. You're just thinking about it all the time. And how you can be better? How can I serve? What am I doing here? What are we working on? Are we staying on task? Are we, don't get frustrated. Keep going.
Yes, yes.
Otherwise, you don't know what's on the other side.
Yes, yes. A lot of, you're absolutely right, Sir Jim. Then, because a lot of people out there, they're like really impatient. They're like really instant results right away. They don't value what you're sharing, that you got to work on something.
Well,
to be better.
you don't know, when you get to a place where you don't know where you are, you have to look around and say, why am I here? Because this company, like, we'll go back to my father's example. He came to Los Angeles to sell a system of lightweight fittings that he designed. He spent thousands of hours designing all this stuff. And the guy goes, I know you're here for this, but we got this call today and they need to work on this gasket. He's going, I got this thing. This is my master's thesis. This is my life. He
This
goes,
is it.
I know. Great. Work on this little thing. Right?
The seals. Yeah.
So that became his life, and it became part of my life, right?
Yes, yes.
And he never did build the fittings because he got the fittings were just get him to that spot where he was in the right place at the right time,
Yes.
doing the right thing.
Then it opened up that opportunity from him via that first client, right? Is that the first client that you?
No, the company hired him based upon the fittings
Oh, the
because he knew
fittings.
he was a designer.
Oh, okay. Yeah. See, that's amazing. That's amazing.
Right. But
story.
but if he would have given up and said, no, it's my design, it's my ego in this box, I'm going back to Texas, then it would have happened.
Yeah, we wouldn't even meet.
We wouldn't be here. No.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's an amazing story, Sir Jim. Well, anyway, that's really good to hear that about your story. Then I'm really thankful that you're sharing that story with our viewers. So I just wanted to ask you, maybe if you have somebody to shout out, we can do a shout out right now, for the camera with the.
Well, yeah. So a shout out to my wife, Barbara, who's my number one supporter.
Yes.
Yes, who backs me on everything, is very patient
Yes.
and understanding, and loves me dearly. And to everybody at SECO and the fam and my sisters and mom, who inspires us every day, who's 90, and
Yeah.
the whole city of Costa Mesa, and shout out to the San Diego family.
There you go.
That's
Thank you.
right.
Thank
Frank
you,
and
Sir
Pearl.
Jim. Then I have some surprise for you. If you can look in the monitor right in front of you, I have something to show you right now. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Hi, my name is Marilyn Scott Waters, and I just want to say that Jim Scott is the best. A great brother, a good businessman, and an all-around great guy.
Thanks.
A little bit, something. So we were really busy last week. So luckily I got the chance to talk to Miss Merlin about it. So
Yeah.
Very
So,
good.
well, I'm very excited about your podcast here. I think it's a great idea.
Thank you.
And, it's going to inspire. It's kind of like intellectual wildfire. You don't know where it's going to go.
Yes,
You don't
yeah,
know
definitely.
you don't know where it reaches out with the internet. The world is flat.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, you're correct.
And
yeah.
you don't know who you're affecting out there wherever.
Yes, sir.
And you won't know till years later.
Yes,
Like,
absolutely. That's what we're actually. You're absolutely. It's really I'm really excited to hear that from you, because that's our initial goal between me and Bernard Ko, the founder of this studio. So our vision is to get this podcast out there to somehow reach to small business owner or individuals out there. And like you said, even years to come, they might even see it. So it's really nice.
Once it's out there, it'll be recorded and somebody pick it, because it's on the internet. It never goes away.
Yes, there you go. It's really good. So anyway, wow, Sir Jim, it's really fun to have you here. Then maybe you can share to our viewers, where can they follow you on social media? Maybe you can share to them your websites or something like that. So
Well, we have secoseals.com. There's an information page. You can give me a shout out, Seco Seals. And I'm on Facebook, right?
Yes.
But I'm kind of a low profile. But you can find me, or you
Yes.
can find Francis. And
Yes.
Francis, he stops by once in a while. And, so you can reach me if you have an idea for a product or something, give me a call and send me the information. I love to work on new ideas and finding solutions to impossible problems.
Yes, he's a problem solver.
That make the world a beure place,
Yes,
right?
there you go.
We're all about making the world a better place and having fun and no stress, no drama, right? We don't do those things.
Nope.
And but yeah, I'd like to help you out on that stuff, and I really appreciate you letting me
you
come
very
on and tell my story. And
Yes, sir.
it's
Definitely.
exciting here.
Yes, it's exciting. And definitely. Then I wanted to thank you again from the bottom of my heart, because you've been a really good friend of ours for years, like 2007, since 2007,
Yeah.
2008.
Yeah, 15 years or so. 14, 15 years.
Yeah, I know, right? that long. So anyway, again, thank you very much, Sir Jim, and it's a pleasure to have you here. Hope I can get you here. If you have another project, then maybe we can share it to the world. And again, maybe you can have some parting words before we go.
Oh, salamat kuya.
There you go. Maybe we can share them some Tagalog that you can.
Oh, okay. Uwi na sa bahay, eh?
There you go. Yeah, he's a multilingual actually, guys.
Well,
so.
because languages, and I don't speak very well Tagalog, but I do speak French, Spanish, and German. So I've studied it, and it opens up other worlds. Languages are your opening up of different worlds and different cultures, and keeps your mind working. Right?
Yes. There we go. Okay, Sir Jim. Well, it's really fun to have you here. And before we end, I just wanted to invite you guys to check out our website, unemployedpinoyceo.com. And also, before we go, I would like to thank Mr. Bernard Ko for producing our show.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Sir Bernard. And I wanted to say, hope to see you again, guys, soon. And this is another interesting and fabulous episode. Again, this is Francis Santiago, and I'm your Unemployed Pinoy CEO. Thanks, guys.